Okay, I think we're live. Good morning. Al Ingalls here at pressure-free.com. It is a Monday morning, and the topic today for pressure-free living is words. That's the topic. Gosh, let's see. It's quite a few years ago now. I was coaching an executive. Most people do a 3-month program with me, but in this case, this person wanted to do more with me. So we were several months into our work together. And we were doing some reflections on like, what are your favorite tools? What tools do you like to use to interrupt the stress response? And her favorite tool was a set of 3 words that I had given her. It was confidence, love, or excuse me, it starts with gratitude. Gratitude, love, confidence. So gratitude, love, confidence. And I created the 3 words again from some work by Wallace Wattles in his book, The Science of Being Well. He talks about that if you go to sleep at night with in gratitude and in confidence, you'll wake up and have a really wonderful day. That was basically the premise. And again, it gets to that, what are you thinking about just before you fall asleep, and what are you thinking about when you first wake up? So that was her favorite tool. She was really reflecting on those 3 words. And what I would share with my clients and what I do share is take each word like gratitude. How do you show gratitude? How do you receive gratitude? Are you someone who deflects compliments, or do you accept compliments? So that's the gratitude piece, reflecting on that. And then let's go to the confidence piece. How do you show up confidently? And also, how do you inspire confidence in others, particularly if you're a leader? And then the third word, love, which I put right in the middle. Wallace Wattles didn't talk about love, but I put that one right in the middle. That to me is one of the most highest level experiences and feelings that we have. So how do we show love toward others, and how do we receive love from others? So it's this give and take, this back and forth of these 3 words. I'm working with a woman, Susan Gluzica, and this is a shout out to Susan because she recommended this particular person and book, which I ordered it, and Every Word Has Power by Yvonne Oswald. Highly recommend this little book. There aren't a lot of copies out there, so you might want to grab one. But Every Word Has Power. Um, really dissects our language and our ability to switch words into higher energy words versus low energy words. I only just began this book. I don't know how many pages in, 23 pages in, and I'm underlining a ton of things because it just really fits right into the tools that I teach around words, the questions that we ask ourselves, asking ourselves an empowering question versus a question like, well, why can't I do this? Asking the question, well, how can I do this easily? And even up leveling those words. So this book is helping me up level the words that I use. And I already thought I was pretty up leveled, but I have some things that I say rather habitually that are not particularly helpful to what I actually want to do and create in the world. So this book, Every Word Has Power, is helping me figure that out. So just one little thing that's kind of fun to do is notice, and I talk about this in Pressure Free. Notice when you say something or your brain is thinking something that is less than desirable, it's taking you into a space that isn't helpful, stopping in that moment and flipping the switch. So in this case, Yvonne Oswald calls it switch. I call it flipping the switch because I have this motion that you do, and emotion helps open up neural pathways for you so that you can really change a habit, change that habit far more quickly than if you were just thinking it in your head or saying it. Moving also helps it. So when you think about when you say something that is again taking you in a direction you don't really want to go, like flipping the switch on that, what can you say that moves you toward your solution? Again, how can I solve that easily? how can how can we, if it's a we, how can we do this together with enjoyment and fun and joy? What are the words that definitely uplift you and change you? So Yvonne Oswald talks about switch in there, and I love some of these questions. I was going through them last night. These questions to see, where do you need to switch? I think it's in the appendix of the book. I love appendices, by the way. It's like really fun. Oh yeah. So here's one I say often, like you may too, it will say no problem. So the word that sticks in our head is problem. When we say someone says, "Oh, sorry I'm late," and you'll say, "Oh, no problem." I've often tried to figure out what are other things we could say for that. And so this was the first one that was in this book in the appendix. How can you switch out no problems? You say, someone's apologizing for something. You could say, that's okay, or that's just fine. So you're choosing a word that doesn't have a lower energy, but a higher energy. Don't worry about it is another one. Don't worry about it. Worry is definitely one of those emotions that can cause us to trigger the stress response really easily. So when we emphasize the word worry, or even just say or think the word worry, that's what the brain focuses on. Even though we say don't worry, it focuses on that word worry. So it's fascinating to just kind of step back and hear what's going on in your head. I remember a coach I had back in 2012, Robert Allen. I actually have some of his books back here. Lots of cool books from him. Um, so Robert Allen, he had me um, analyze the things I said to myself for about 3 weeks. What are these things I'm saying to myself? And noticing what what words I'm choosing, what's going on in there. So I've done some of this work already. This is just kind of taking it to another level, this little book. And what I noticed is I will have like that cheerful voice. It's just, cheerleading me on, keeping me on track for the day. Wonderful little voice. And then there will be a voice that I call um, uh, command form you. I'm laughing because this voice has come up in my head so much in my lifetime. It's like, don't forget, you need to pick the boys up from school. Oh, don't forget, you have rehearsal tonight. Don't forget. It would be this, it always would start with that stem, don't forget. Okay, so what am I telling myself to do? What word am I focusing on? Forget, right? So even just switching out the don't forget to remember, you have to pick up the boys from school today. And then notice the word have to, those two words. I have to, da 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 da. So it's like, okay, remember, I get to pick up the boys from school today. So those little switches, that's flipping the switch on these little phrases that we may say often. What I noticed when I would like command myself, first of all, notice it's using the pronoun you. It's not using the pronoun I. It's using the pronoun you. So it's almost like someone is commanding me, right? Now, that's not so good because when people tell me to do things, I have an instant kind of pushback reaction. So that's not very helpful to me. So so that command form you, I also noticed my shoulders would go up, like it go up in tension. And so it's like, okay, remember, you get to pick up the boys at 3 today, or whatever the phrase is. So noticing these little tiny tensions. And then I would have a third voice. I had several voices, different tones of voice in my head, but one of them was extremely critical, a very, very hypercritical voice. Maybe you have this too. I think it's because I've spent so much of my life in disciplines that require critique, like sports, music, business, areas of business that just require such focus and such discipline to stay in the work for a long time. Like writing a national grant for the symphony, I would be staying in that work for weeks to prepare a grant, asking I need to ask all these other people to provide me information. It was a very intense and very required a lot of focus. And so what I notice is that I will be very critical with myself. I'll say, I can't believe you didn't finish that today. Uh, and it's, I can't believe you didn't. Notice, I'm talking to you, right? When I was first analyzing my voices, thank goodness, my coach said, and if you have a lot of these different voices, don't worry, you're not insane. Because I was like, oh my gosh, who's talking to whom in here? What's really happening? I'm talking to me. It's like, what's going on? So debunking all of that and getting some of that clean and clear. I feel like this little book here, Every Word Has Power by Yvonne Oswald, this is just going to help me up level and really fine tune those little areas where I still have words I use, um, things I say in my head that are not particularly leading me where I wish to go. So, where do I wish to go? What do I want to see happen? What do I want to achieve? How do I want to feel? We get to choose that. And that's the power of pressure free. When you interrupt that stress hormone release, when you don't release those hormones, you have your full faculties, your cortex, your hippocampus, your willpower, your ability to make decisions, your ability to memorize and remember things. Like you, all of this gets to flourish. So now you can ask yourself really empowering questions. You can sit back and choose your response to whatever is going on, which completely changes the trajectory of what happens next, how other people feel about us. I used to be so impatient and I would finish people's sentences and honestly be downright rude sometimes. I'm this East Coast girl in the Midwest. It's just, that's what I would say, by the way. I'd say, I'm this East Coast girl. In my head, I'd say it. Um, and everybody talks slower here. Right? But no, that really wasn't what it was about. It was that I was running off of adrenaline. And so I was in a hyper mode, which didn't allow me to really hear, see people. I talked about that yesterday, really hear people, see people, affirm people. So I'm really excited about this little book. You can look it up on Amazon, but Every Word Has Power, Yvonne Oswald. Shout out to Susan Gluzica for recommending this book to me. I'm really grateful because this is going to help me in some really fun ways. So wish you a great, beautiful, pressure-free start to your week whenever you're watching this. Thank you for coming on. And if you need some assistance, if you're looking to really up-level your life, no matter what area it is that you're feeling a little challenged and you want to release those challenges and you want to move into a truly pressure-free life, then I'm here for you. So have a good one. Bye.